The old man leaned toward the fireplace, rubbing his palms together as if waking up memories that had slept for decades. The flames glowed softly, and with a faint smile, he began to speak. When I was young, he said, I worked in a small coffee shop. Not a fancy cafe like the ones you see today, just a quiet little place with wooden chairs, a creaky door, and coffee strong enough to wake the dead. I wasn't much of a barista, but I could carry cups without dropping them, and I learned to read people just by watching how they stirred their sugar. He chuckled. There was a girl who came in every Wednesday afternoon. She always ordered the same thing, a bitter blend, no milk, 2 sugars. The kind of drink that tries to pretend it's tough, even though it just wants to be sweet. The old man lifted his eyebrows, remembering her. She had a softness in her eyes, but she carried some heavy thoughts with her. I could tell, people who stir their coffee too long usually do. He tapped the arm of his chair lightly. And then there was the boy. A regular, always sat by the window, pretending to read a newspaper he never turned. He'd watch her when she came in, and then look away the moment she looked back. I swear, the whole cafe knew he liked her but her. The fire crackled as if greeting the memory. That boy was hopelessly in love. But he believed she belonged to someone else. Every week he'd listen to her talk about her boyfriend, this phantom man none of us had ever met. The boy would smile politely, nod at the right moments, and drink coffee that had gone cold long before he did. The old man sighed, but fondly. One day, however, everything changed. She came in looking different, lighter somehow, as if a cloud had finally drifted off her shoulders. When she ordered her coffee, her voice didn't waver, and when she stirred her sugar, her hand didn't shake. He paused, eyes softening. I remember bringing her cup to the table, and the boy was already there, pretending he had chosen that seat intentionally. But he wasn't reading, he was watching her with this worried look. The old man's voice fell quiet, thoughtful. She told him, it's over. Just like that. Her relationship had ended. There was sadness in her voice, but also something like relief. And right then, I saw something shift inside that boy, a kind of fire rising, the kind that pushes a person forward after they've been frozen in place for too long. He smiled a little wider. I was refilling another table when it happened. The boy leaned in slightly, took a breath sharp enough to cut stone, and said something to her, quiet, trembling, but sincere enough to stop even the espresso machine in its tracks. The old man laughed softly. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw her reaction. Her eyes widened, her shoulders softened, and she looked down at her cup as if the answer might be hiding in the coffee. She stirred it once, twice, watched the sugar melt, and then she smiled, a small, fragile smile, but the kind that turns winter into spring. He closed his eyes briefly, letting the fire warm the corners of his memories. That was the moment I realized something. Love doesn't always crash in loudly. Sometimes it melts in slowly, like sugar disappearing into bitter coffee. Quiet, gentle, but sweet enough to change everything. The old man leaned back, the firelight reflecting in his gaze. I never learned what happened to them afterward. But that day, in that tiny cafe with its cracked tables and noisy pipes, I saw bitterness soften, courage rise, and 2 hearts step just a little closer. And ever since then, every time sugar dissolves in a cup, I remember those 2 and the gentle miracle of a love that almost didn't happen.
Looking back, those days were bitter. Hearing stories of your love. Then the day you said it ended, something pushed me from above. I knew I had to tell you what I've been hiding in my heart. Coffee, sugar, slowly melting in the steam, like a moment holding still inside a quiet daydream. If I confess these feelings, what expression will you show? love arrives so suddenly, shaking what we thought we knew. Coffee sugar, gently melting in the cup. Maybe now the bitter taste has finally softened up. Stirring circles in my coffee, I imagine better days. All the words I couldn't say, all the courage that I pray. Coffee, sugar, look, it's disappearing slow. Maybe with it all my bitter days can't find